Today's movie is a special request from Patreon supporter James Carlson, who asked me to review Children of the Corn 2. Wait, Children of the Corn 2? I haven't even done the first one yet. I guess I don't have to do the first one. After all, I did Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2 and Halloween 3 without doing the other ones. So here we go, time to dive headfirst into the longest running Stephen King movie series. Or head second, I guess. Okay, so here's what you need to know about the first movie. It's based off a Stephen King story. A couple drives into a rural Nebraska town. They find out the kids there have formed their own religion and murdered all the adults. There's a lot of running through cornfields, and it all climaxes with a weird corn demon and some cheesy special effects. While not exactly a hit with critics, it was profitable, making more than 18 times its budget back. But unlike a lot of 80s horror movies, it didn't get a sequel right away, with Children of the Corn 2 not arriving until 8 years later in 1992. Well, considering the first movie was based off a short story, I can't wait to see how they stretch that out into an entire franchise. So here is Children of the Corn 2. Oh, nice to know this Children of the Corn movie uses the same font as the band Korn. And wait a second, the final sacrifice?
I wonder if there's beer on the sun.
Yeah, if Rousdower was in this movie, instead of saving the day from the evil children, he'd probably just buy them all alcohol. I gotta admit, this opening credit sequence is actually kinda cool looking, although the music here doesn't sound like it's from a horror movie. It feels like I'm about to watch a 90s animated movie about the environment. Or at least one about corn. The real horror in this movie, though, having to do some spring cleaning in the basement. Oh, and there's a bunch of dead bodies in there, too. I'm not exactly sure how long this is supposed to take place after the first one, but apparently the authorities finally caught on that there's an entire town full of creepy kids and murdered adults in the middle of Nebraska. And the kids don't seem to be giving any answers as far as what happened here.
Did you see anything?
Saw the corn.
Also, I like Totos.
Did you see what happened to your mommy and your daddy?
I saw the corn.
What is all this shit about the corn?
It's a Stephen King story. The kids worship some kind of corn demon. It probably ties into the Dark Tower series somehow. Just go with it, okay? Because their parents are dead, the people of a nearby town called Hemingford decide to adopt the remaining children. Cause come on, what are the odds they're gonna murder all the adults twice? Also, I don't know if you need to adopt all of them. Some of these kids are clearly over 18. Hey, sorry about your dead parents, but here, have a sucker. Doesn't that make you feel better? However, some residents of Hemingford aren't too keen on adopting a bunch of homicidal corn-worshipping brats.
They murdered their own parents! Those involved with the killings are dead.
Yeah, none of the original cast returned, and if they did, they'd be too old, so there's nothing to worry about.
What happened is over, Mrs. Burke. It's over.
Oh, it is far from over. There are so many sequels after this one. Anyway, time to meet our main characters. This is reporter John Garrett and his son Danny, who are going through a bit of a rough patch.
Start by calling me Dad.
Yeah, right. Why would I want to do that? Oh, you think I should feel grateful just because you usually remember my birthday?
Hey, give your dad a break, will ya? He hasn't been the same since he lost his medical license after being accused of rape. John's on his way to get a story about the murders. I'm sure some quality time being terrorized by creepy kids will help bring these two closer together. But looks like he's too late.
Hey, Rag Man, how's it going? How's the tabloid business, huh? I love that piece you did on JFK and his secret marriage to Rock Hudson. That was some journalism.
Of course JFK was secretly married to Rock Hudson. I mean, why do you think Tab Hunter assassinated him? He was jealous. Not that these guys are one to judge.
What happened around here?
Well, a bunch of kids killed all the adults in town.
Yeah, it's pretty fucked up. Anyway, we're gonna go get something to eat. You wanna join us? Oh wait, they can't do that yet. They still need to be the movie's first victims. Not counting these people, of course.
Yeah, this was a great idea.
Damn it, I knew we should have taken that left on Cornfield Lane. Bad news, fellas. The weather forecast shows that there's an optical effect moving in. And also the Predator's here? The hell?
Jesus Christ, man, it looks like a twister!
Get out of the van.
Good idea. When confronted with extreme weather, always leave any shelter you may have. Even though the black guy technically dies first here, they leave the wackier kill for this guy. Yeah, you just got corn shanked, bitch. Meanwhile, John may be too late to get the scoop on the murders, but maybe some of the locals can help him out.
Wait, just one question. One question.
Okay, one.
Nice tits? This is Angela, who's adopting one of the children, and John and Danny decide to stay at her establishment, the On-the-Nose Bed and Breakfast.
Who do you write for anyway?
The World Inquirer. He's a rag man.
Okay, so just say Bat Boy's the one who killed everybody and get the hell out of there. Despite being guests, John and Danny still can't even pretend to get along here.
You got my mother pregnant, and here I am.
Now, I'm not gonna bullshit you about this. I was 17 years old, and I made a mistake.
I'm talking about you, boy. You're a mistake, you hear me?
Well, if it's my choice, I'm on the next bus out of here.
Now, wait, whoa. Hey! Get back here!
Don't turn your back on me, you little mistake. I don't blame Danny for trying to leave, though. In this town, instead of buses, a hot chick on a bike comes and picks you up. While John continues to work on his story, just remember, if you make sequels, they will come to the video store to rent it. What happens next is a little confusing. Most of the kids gather in the cornfield, and I think one of them gets possessed by the corn demon.
What was that?
A really silly effect?
It is written. A leader will come from the corn. He shall make us as one. There ain't nothing out there, Mordecai, except a lot of corn.
Oh, there is way more corn coming in this movie, don't you worry.
But the rest of us are getting the hell out of here.
See, some arrived just now. This is Micah, who's now the leader of the corn cult, and is kind of this movie's version of Isaac from the first one. And I will say this, the kid really goes for it.
They were adults! They were of that world, and we have seen the way of that world, and it is evil!
He's like an Amish Jimmy Swaggart, except, you know, slightly less corrupt. And there's something else lurking in this cornfield. I'll tell you what's really scary, though. Small town small talk.
I ran into this girl. She rides a motor scooter, you know her?
Lacey Hellerstadt.
She's pretty hot.
Yeah, she's pretty hot.
Children of the Corn 2. Well, that was awkward.
Speaking of awkward, I see the children left a gift for Old Lady You're All Gonna Die here. What? A cross smeared with shit is just how people welcome you to the neighborhood around here. Let's see. Old woman who warns everyone that children are evil? I'm sure she'll be fine. Bad news, lady. The kids are taking your cat so they can use it for a fake-out scare later. Before that, though, they're gonna go all Wizard of Oz on your ass. And in case anyone doesn't think that's what they were going for... I think that line makes it pretty clear. Congratulations, lady. You always wanted to die in your home. Well, you got it. Despite all the weirdness, Danny seems to be getting bored.
There's nothing to do around here.
Sure there is, Danny. You can ogle chicks while they're having a waterfall shower.
You just gonna stand there?
Please be over 18. Please be over 18. This is Lacey, an orphan who I guess just wanders around town since she doesn't have any parents. Whatever. Point is, Danny has a love interest now.
You should try growing up here. There's nothing. Nothing to do, nothing to see. Nobody interesting to talk to.
Yeah, I used to feel that way about this place.
But then I got a boner. Good thing Danny found a girlfriend. The only other thing to do around here is go to church.
Fornication. Fornication, my friends, is a pestilence.
Thanks, Father Incel. Well, nice to see I'm not the only one who got fidgety in church. Although mine didn't come with its own Damien.
Waiting to rise up and seize the day.
Either this guy just saw the hottest anime girl in the world, or Micah got into voodoo wood carving. I gotta give it to the priest. This guy bleeds all over the place and he doesn't break his sermon once. Quick, somebody call an ambulance, and tell him to bring plenty of Kleenex! Meanwhile, John continues his investigation into the murders. Apparently in this town where all the kids murdered their parents, something fucked up may have happened. And it's full of fake-out scares. See, there's another one. This is Frank Redbear, a professor of anthropology at the State University, and because he's Native American and this is a horror movie, I'm assuming that means he's also magical or some shit.
Can you tell me anything about what happened around here?
Koyana Squatsi.
Excuse me?
Koyana Squatsi.
The kids killed their parents because of a movie?
It means life out of balance.
So that's what happened here in Gatlin?
Well, no. What happened in Gatlin was those kids went apeshit and killed everybody.
Okay, you know what? I kinda like this guy. Not only is John not making any progress with his story, but he's still not getting along with Danny. But like Will Smith said, parents just don't understand.
Adults are such hypocrites. It's like the moment a person turns 19, they become this thing.
Well, Danny's in his mid-20s, so I think he probably gets it. Hey, John, sorry your investigation isn't going too well, but here, have a sucker. Doesn't that make you feel better?
I don't appreciate your humor.
Yeah, well, it's my video, so get used to it. You know, I'm starting to think the locals here know more than they're letting on.
Oh, Jesus, we have sinned. We're going to hell.
Hey, take it easy, Doc. I mean, out of all the Children of the Corn sequels, this is hardly the worst one. Meanwhile, Red Bear tells John that this area contains strange power, so I guess this means he counts as sorta magical.
What is this over here?
Well, that's a traditional Indian burial.
Oh, that's why the kids killed their parents. The corn was planted on an ancient Indian burial ground. Well, that and the Predator's still here. As far as the kids killing adults, they've only offed 2 people so far, and we're almost an hour in, so better bring those numbers up. That's for not writing me that Percocet prescription like I asked, asshole. This scene with the doctor is probably my favorite kill in the whole movie. I don't know, just the idea of being stabbed to death with needles really creeps me out. Hey, Doc, sorry about murdering you, but here, have a sucker. Doesn't that make you feel better? Oh, right, Angela. I forgot she was in this movie. Probably because the last scene she was in was 40 minutes earlier. I guess the filmmakers felt the need to speed things up to make up for this. Check out what the next scene is. Damn, that was fast. I think her and John had about 2 scenes together before this. And wait a second, I recognize this actress. She's the mom from Pinocchio's Revenge. I guess she requests a Skinamax-style love scene in all the horror movies she's in. Well, even if John doesn't get his story, at least he got laid. Although, how does he not notice what the kids are doing?
And in my vision, I saw a circle of light, and the lights move faster and faster. And in the center of the light was a stalk.
You're just describing that time you did peyote in Iowa, Micah. Okay, everybody, first order of business, we'll start with the blood ritual, and then we'll move on to the raffle. The winner gets to not be sacrificed to the corn monster we all worship.
Come forward.
Okay, sure. This whole situation seems on the up and up.
Do you wish to be as one?
Yes.
Okay, Danny, I know you're bored, but joining a murderous corn cult isn't the answer. Just, I don't know, go fishing down by the creek or something. Or you can hang out with Lacey some more. Danny really wants to tell her he likes her, but he's waiting until he gets old enough to finally turn into Carrie Elways. And again, a lot of the music here doesn't seem like it's from a horror movie. If I just randomly stumbled upon this part, I think it was some romantic coming-of-age drama instead of a movie where a guy dies from a fatal nosebleed. Alright, time for Danny to show Lacey his corn cob. Hey, it's alright, babe. We can just bang in another cornfield. Bad news, somebody tried to fertilize the crops with dead bodies, and even worse, the corn's gone moldy.
That green stuff is aflatoxin. An air got mold. God, it can cause madness. It can cause panic, hallucinations, especially in children.
Wait, so that's why the kids murdered their parents? It's not because they worship an evil corn demon, they were just high on corn dust? This is a really weird subplot. It seems to be trying to give a possible explanation for why the children acted the way they did, except we've already seen their supernatural stuff going on, and the first movie even ended by showing that the demon they all worship is real, so why the red herring? This plot thread only seems to exist so the local adults have a reason to kill John and Red Bear to try and cover it up. Well, whatever the reason the kids are killing adults, the important thing is that they're doing it. Or at least really annoying them. And we already got an effective kill scene with the doctor, so might as well have another silly one.
Yeah! Yeah!
Man, the Problem Child sequels got really dark. Anyway, the sheriff tries to kill John and Red Bear by running him over with a combine. Why the hell doesn't he just shoot him?
Well, I'd actually have to explain that, and someone might not believe me. This, I don't have to explain this. Who could? It doesn't make sense.
Oh, okay, that makes sense. I guess. One tip for next time, though, you might want to stick around and make sure they actually die instead of escaping. Just saying.
Now you level with me. What in the fuck is going on here?
Einstein was right.
Einstein had a theory about a corn monster? While this is going on, the children kidnap Angela. I was starting to think they forgot about her just like the filmmakers did. I guess she still fares better than the rest of the adults. The children lock them all in the town hall and burn it down. Happy 4th of July, motherfuckers. When the police finally find the remains of this place, they'll probably just get another town to adopt all the kids. Anyway, you know what would really liven up this podunk town? A human sacrifice.
Are you ready for the offering?
Give me your hand, Danny!
Again, Danny's clearly in his 20s, so I don't know if he's eligible for this ritual. They're also sacrificing Lacey and Angela.
She is the first to be sacrificed!
Alright, but who's gonna be the final sacrifice? The title was very clear there was gonna be a final one. Look, Danny, I know you want to feel like you belong, but I don't think cutting your girlfriend's heart out is the answer. What the hell can possibly save him? Ah, yes, a combine. Korn's one weakness. Unfortunately, Red Bear gets shot by one of the kids. He probably should have closed the door.
Come on.
Okay, note to self, when I write up this story, be sure to leave out the part where I killed a kid. Now, in the climax to the first movie, they actually showed the demonic entity He Who Walks Behind the Rose. So are they going to do the same thing here? Well, I don't know about demons, but this cornfield does seem to have tremors. What's more, Micah seems to be getting more over the top by the second.
Did you really think that he who walks behind the rose would allow you to escape?
Oh shit, Micah's gone full Pacino.
Cause she got a great ass, and you got your head all the way up it.
Get ready for even more craziness. Micah gets the quickening or something, but Red Bear tries to run him over with the combine, and then... You know, I was hoping this was going to end with an effect as gloriously ridiculous as the first one, and this movie did not disappoint. Your demon lord can't save you now, Micah. You're still going to be mulch. Alright, you killed Micah, which I guess also got rid of the demon, or at least made it bored enough to go away until the next sequel. Before they leave, though, they need to give Red Bear a proper funeral by roasting him in corn. It's what he would have wanted.
So what do we do about the children?
Tell their story.
Well, considering their story involves you murdering a few of them, you might want to have a good lawyer present before you do that. And don't worry about Red Bear. Turns out he's actually like a ghost or something. See? Told you he was magical. Despite being profitable, taking in $7 million against a budget of $1.3 million, Children of the Corn 2 was the last in the series to get a theatrical release, with the rest of the sequels all going direct to video. And boy oh boy did they get cracking on making more sequels, because as of 2021, there's been 9 more movies after this one, which includes everything from sequels, prequels, and remakes. Not bad for a story that's only 16 pages long. So with that in mind, was Children of the Corn 2 good enough to kick off so many more sequels? Well, good is probably not the best word to use here, so let's say, is it entertaining enough to kick off so many more sequels? I'm gonna go ahead and say yes. Yeah, sure, the movie's got its fair share of corny moments, no pun intended, and there's some questionable decisions like the hallucinogenic corn mold subplot that doesn't really go anywhere, but the movie's smart enough to have some kill scenes every few minutes, and even though most of them are pretty silly, they're also weird enough to be memorable. Ryan Bowman also gives an appropriately over-the-top performance as Micah, which is exactly the right approach for this kind of movie. Don't get me wrong, this definitely isn't one of the better Stephen King-based movies, and even though it did get a theatrical release, it still has a very direct-to-video feel to it, but it is pretty entertaining if you're looking for some bad movie night fodder. Not to mention it's a hell of a lot better than most of the other sequels. I guess we'll see if I ever get to those. Well, that's all for now. Until next time.
Look at all this corn.
Yeah, look at it.